Rosie. This week we're going to look at recycling. Recycling is one of the most important things for the environment at the moment, purely because with the population growing, we're producing more waste, there's more things being packaged in plastic, and therefore it's really important to try and stop as much pollution as we can. The landfill sites are getting more and more filled up, and that produces more and more pollution as well. Now, we've had a look at the waste that we take out, and this would be our normal rubbish. There's about 3 pounds of rubbish in there. This is the food waste, that's organic, so that will be recycled in the food bin, and then this is our recycling. What we're going to try and do is, if we can, live without as much of this as possible and really work on making sure everything goes into recycling. And now Brandy is going to help my husband take the bins out. There's a fun fact, that happens to be the one job that most people say is the husband's role.
Most homes will have recycling bins a little bit like this, and these are collected by the council. The brown one at the back is for garden waste, so if you're doing your garden, doing your lawns over the summer, that's a great place to put everything. The black bin is for normal bin waste, as in sometimes things that we put in the toilet bin, maybe use tissues, that kind of stuff. And then this is the recycling bin with the blue lid. Now, we're very lucky in Northampton in that a lot of things can be recycled here. What you can do is you can check with your recycling centre, with your council, and they will give you a full list of what can be recycled and whether you need to break down cardboard boxes and the days of your recycling. Then finally, there's the food bin there. It's sitting in a blue bucket purely because that's an old bin which we used to have. We used to have to separate our plastics, our glasses and cardboard, but now we can put it all in the blue bin.
But how do you tell what is recyclable? Well, cardboard, very straightforward. We know cardboard and paper can be recycled. However, if you look at the products themselves, on the bottom of them, there's usually a number stamped onto them. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, and this has a 2. This milk carton has a 2, and that stands for plastic. So generally, the plastic is widely recyclable. The lid may not be. You might have to check with your local recycling facility whether they allow it. Checking other objects, same thing. This is a tea box, the box card, widely recycled. Another example here is tub, plastic, check local recycling, lid, plastic, check local recycling, and sleeve, plastic, not currently recyclable. Now, in terms of the sleeve, that's this little bit here, I will be showing you how to make something called an eco brick, which is going to help with our recycling, and it's something you can do with things like the sleeve. Finally, if you're really stuck, then try this plastic recycling cheat sheet, and this is downloadable courtesy of greenlivingtips.com, and there it gives you all the numbers, what they are, and you can mark off yourself whether you can place them in your recycling bin or not. I'm going to show you how to make an eco brick. An eco brick is something that you can make out of all the plastics that cannot be recycled and a plastic bottle. It can be any plastic bottle. This is a 500 millilitre one, but you can use the 1 litre, 2 litre ones as well. And what you do first of all, and all you need is in fact the bottle and some sort of poking device. I'm using a chopstick just because of the size of the bottle. Make sure the bottle's clean and put the label in it first of all. And all you're going to do is put all those wrappers that you can't recycle into this bottle. And if you need to, you can use the poking stick to help you poke them in. There we go. And here's one I made earlier. It takes loads of these unrecyclable wrappers, so don't think just because it's a small bottle you'll use them all up. All of this, I'm absolutely sure, will go in here. The one thing you've got to remember is make sure you rinse out any things like crisp packets or food packets, because you don't want too much food waste in there, because that will start to decompose. There's not a lot of oxygen in there, but what oxygen there is, it will start to change into gases and it could affect the constituency of the bottle. What you use these for, if you go onto the EcoBricks website, is you could gather lots of them together and bind them, and they can become a nice flat tabletop or a little stool to sit on, especially the bigger ones. They're absolutely lovely for that. They can also be used in the garden. They can be the base of structures if you're going to cover them in concrete. But be very, very careful. Whilst the EcoBricks site does give you ways of using these EcoBricks, insurers may not and probably will not yet insure them, because you cannot guarantee the safety and sturdiness of these EcoBricks. And simply, if you just want to make them, there are loads of places that collect them, so you can also drop them off at your nearest EcoBrick point. Well, we've reached the end of the week and we have a lot more recycling and a lot less rubbish. This weighs about ½ a pound, which isn't too bad given that last week we had about 3 pounds of rubbish. What I've learned is where to look for the recycling labels on products, what to do with things that can't be recycled, such as making EcoBricks, but also I've thought a lot more about what I'm doing and been a lot more mindful when I'm using the rubbish bin. One thing I do think, however, is learning about composting, learning about how even when we recycle, gases are still being released into the atmosphere, and perhaps we can be doing a lot more to protect the environment. Recycling is just the start. Perhaps the actual answer is learning to live zero waste. So that is something that I'm going to be looking at probably at a later point, but for now, happy recycling. Honey, I think this is yours.